In Lesson 1, I mentioned that one of the things that I think production is responsible for is being a good role model for studio values and practices. This can, of course, take time as you acclimatize to a new role or workplace. So how can you hit the ground running in production? I always tell my teams that even if you're struggling in your current position or you're new to your role, you can still be a good employee at the very least. I've compiled a list of 15 very baseline ways that you can shine in your role, even if you're still learning the ropes. These items are based on conversations that I've had with other production staff, my supervisors, and my own observations as what comes up time and time again as positive factors in performance reviews. Remember, all points apply to production staff just as much as they do to artists. So here's a list of 15 ways that you can be a good employee. Number 1, attitude is everything. 2, do the time. 3, be professional. Number 4 is being kind and helpful to people of all levels of skill. Number 5 is time management. Number 6 is organization. Number 7 is knowing your rights as a worker or employee. 8 is taking notes. 9 is being responsive to work communication. Number 10 is committing to a diverse and inclusive work environment. Item 11 is staying up to date on the latest and greatest for your role. Number 12 is the ability to recognize your own learning and communication style. Number 13 is the ability to receive constructive criticism and offer constructive feedback when asked. Number 14 is teamwork. And lastly, item 15 is giving back to your community. I'm not going to go in depth on all of the points in this video. I will touch upon a few of them, and then the rest I will elaborate upon in the transcript. The first item I wanted to touch upon is to do the time. This is to say, make sure that you're doing a full day, whatever that might mean for your studio. Don't take more breaks than you're entitled to, and if you go over, let your producer know that you have a plan to make up the time. A personal pet peeve: don't be one of those people who gets to work and then immediately goes for a coffee break first thing. Another thing to remember with doing the time is to really make sure that you have mastered your current role before you presume to ask for a raise or a promotion. The second item I wanted to touch upon is being kind and helpful to people of all levels of skill. Even though production is a position of power of sorts, don't be a snob. Be a team player and helpful to people of all levels of skill, not just those who can help promote you. No one likes a sycophant. Also by team, I don't just mean your team. Say you're a coordinator for animation. If somebody in lighting reaches out to you with a question, take a moment to just be kind and see if you can help them out. The third item I wanted to touch upon is time management and organization. I wanted to emphasize that both of these things, organization and time management, are learnable skills, and they are especially critical when you're in production. For some reason, people think these things are inherent. You either got it or you don't, and this simply isn't true. These are skills that you can definitely develop and continuously improve upon. All you really need to do is Google it. The next item I wanted to go over is being responsive to work communication. I know this can seem obvious for production in particular, and what I wanted to share here is that I read somewhere once that the longer it takes you to get back to someone on your team, the less trust they have in you, and they also don't feel valued as a crew member. If delegation is not an option, and you leave a message for, say, a half hour or you don't answer at all, this is bad news. If you don't have time at present to answer the message or you're really focused on something, that's okay. Tell the person you'll get back to them in 5, 10 minutes, or even tomorrow. Also remind them to gently nudge you in an agreed upon time if they haven't heard back from you. The last item that I wanted to go over is the ability to receive constructive criticism. This is something that I personally struggle with a lot, and it's something that I've had to conscientiously improve upon over the years. Just think of our artists. They are always making a shot, a rig, a fix, whatever, and they have to do so on a tight schedule, knowing that there are a lot of people who might have feedback or send their work back entirely. Be inspired by this and embrace it in your own work. Even in production, we might be running our meetings inefficiently, we might be taking confusing notes in dailies, or we might be putting reference in a spot that is not intuitive or helpful to our artists. Be open to new ideas and ways of doing things.